Our first order of business today is to make the appointments of two people from the town of Seneca Falls for the town board from March 21st to December 31st of this year. So I'll make the first motion. I move to appoint Annette Lutz as a town council member from today, March 21st, till December 31st of this year. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Is there any discussion? We'll go right to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay. I'll make the second motion, and then those two women can come up and take their oath of office and have seats next to us. I make the motion to appoint Mary Saratori to an appointment on this town council from today, March 21st, through December 31st of this year. Do I have a second for that?
I'll second it.
Is there discussion? Seeing none, we'll go to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Yeah, Nikki.
My name over here.
The oath of office.
Yeah, you can sit there. Okay, I, Annette Lutz, solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York. To uphold the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of New York. To faithfully discharge the duties of town councilwoman. And to faithfully discharge the duties of town councilwoman for the town of Seneca Falls. For the town of Seneca Falls. According to the best of my ability. Thank you. Congratulations. I, Mary Saratori, do solemnly swear uphold the Constitution of the State of New York, the Constitution of the United States and the State of New York,
To uphold the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York.
and my faithfully discharge the duties of
And to faithfully discharge the duties of town councilwoman for the town of Seneca Falls to the best of my ability. I usually do comments territory. Sorry.
Is that 2 R's?
SARRATORI.
Thank you, Mary and Annette, for accepting this challenge, and we're going to work as a team. The first order of business today is I would like to make a motion to pay Vicki Karashi. She's the educator from Auburn, New York, who comes down and trains our court staff, the court clerks. And the motion would be to pay her $500, and then after that, first initial payment of $500 will be $20 an hour after that. She's already worked some hours, and she's up to that $500 mark already. So that's the motion.
Second that.
Discussion, that is in the budget for education and training in the courts. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. And the next is just a information item, and I plan to have a town forum on Wednesday, April 20th at the Rec Center, and that'll be from 6:30 to 8:30. And all residents of Seneca Falls are invited to attend. And I guess if people from other municipalities want to attend, well, we'll have to do Seneca Falls, town of Seneca Falls residents first, if it gets real crowded. So, okay, tonight was a special meeting called initially to make the appointments, but then Mr. Collin, the assessor, came in and said he had some information and he'd like to give it to the board as soon as possible. So I thought this was a good night for him to address the board and have the public here and hear what the plan for the assessor's office is and what he plans to do for this season. And go ahead, Don.
Thank you very much. Last week, I had the roll ready for the regional office. They came out and looked at it, and person I worked with is Gary Drake, and he says, I'm glad you got this completed, but I can't guarantee that you're going to get 100%. And so we talked about the sales basically I've organized 7 neighborhoods here. Some have gone up, some have gone down. And what he left with me is a complaint instruction for a rate, for equalization rate, which I would have to go to, I looked this over, I'd have to go to Albany. And one of the problems here is that he really hasn't come up with and said, okay, I think your equalization rate will be thus. You won't know that until after the reval, until after the Board of Assessment Review meets, and then the state will establish an equalization rate and we'll send that forward to the town. So that's not something that they will put a value on right now. But he says, it basically told me it was, it was close, but he thought that he was a little concerned. I did talk this morning with his supervisor, and she was more enthused, I guess, about where I was as far as the equalization rate goes, and she says the same thing. I cannot guarantee that you will get 100%, but we've had Jerry Zupp, who is the regional person that does the GIS surveys for the equalization rate, and she says, I can tell you that we've modified your equalization rate compared to what Gary had last week, and it looks favorable, but again, they will not say that you've got 100% equalization rate. So what I had done last week was to think this over, and I had the option of basically pulling the plug on the reval and filing a state equalization rate claim. I've talked to several people about that. It's very lengthy. Probably the chances of getting that done in time are not good. So then after talking with the regional manager out of Batavia, who was our regional manager, she was much more encouraging, I guess. So basically what that means is I want to go forward with that and finish that. It will probably take at least until Thursday, until we can get a file to the county where they can send impact notices out. And so that it's going to take a little more time because basically I put a stop to the reval at that time last week. I'll just give you a very small packet of information. One of them is on the equalization rate. Why is it important to get 100%? Because we haven't had a reval since 2007. Okay, and the equalization rate in 2014 was 88. Last year was 83. Why is it important to have 100% equalization rate? Well, one of the easiest things I think that people can relate to if they have a home in Seneca Falls is the STAR exemption. On the second page, I've given you a copy of the enhanced exemption and the basic exemption. There are, for basic, there are approximately 1,560 people in the town that get the basic exemption. They do not get the full exemption because they take the E-crate and multiply it by the basic exemption, and we come up with a difference of $4,800 per household times 1,500 comes to $7.5 million. If you look at the enhanced STAR, it's the difference between what you receive and what you could receive if we were at 100% is approximately $10,450 per household. Times 635 comes to $6,600,000. So the end figure is quite big. Individually, it's not massive to each person, but I think it's important going forward to get this 100%. On the last page, basically, is the sheet that Gary and I looked over. In that, the commercial properties were not there. I have completed those, but they were not in this tabulation because he does it by rural section 1, rural section 2, et cetera, et cetera. So after having thought about this, and I did talk with the supervisor, he suggested I probably should come before the town board. Bottom line is, I intend to go forward and complete the reval as is. There is no guarantee we can get 100. But I'm hoping that based on the information that I have now, I think I'm hopeful that will happen. You have any questions? Yes.
I do. Is there any way that if you do the evaluation, it goes down even further than what it is now?
Yes. I mean, you're talking about the equalization rate? Yes. Again, that is something that, there's two ways that they can figure that. Okay, the state has two ways. One of them is they do what they call a CAM, a computer assisted mass appraisal. And they have a person at the regional office, the state office, his name is Jerry Zupp, and all he does is do the bell-shaped curve graphs, and he looks at sales, and he looks at condition of houses. One of the things that I told them was that many of the properties here had not gained value, in my opinion, because the maintenance on the house was status quo, okay? And so that is factored into the figuring the CAMA. The second way they could do this is in June. If the state deems so, and I have no control over that, they could say, okay, we're going to do a random sample in the town of Seneca Falls. We're going to pick X number of random properties. They're going to be some commercial, some residential, some lake, some farm. And we're going to have basically the staff from the regional office come here, do a mini appraisal. If let's just throw a figure out there, if you got a $100,000 property and they come up with 103, then the difference is 3%, okay? And they say, well, that's the equalization rate on that one parcel. They then average all the parcels. They, at that point in time, and they did this with Tyre and they did this with Romulus last year. I thought they were going to do it in Seneca Falls, but because I applied for state aid, they said we can't do it. I thought, okay, I didn't know that, but so what he told me was that even though there are two ways to do this, there is no guarantee by doing the spot valuation. Would that be higher or lower? He says, I can't guarantee that because we don't know what properties are going to pick. They being the regional office of state, has the option of choosing the camera ratio or this spot check. So that's the way it's done statewide, okay?
Thank you.
When this has happened in other communities, which way does the state usually go? It depends on the authority that comes in.
This is not, well, because it's been so long in doing a reval in Seneca Falls, it is harder. The equalization rate is 83. So what they're saying on the average is property has increased 17%. Okay, again, I looked at my neighborhoods and I say, some of them have, some of them haven't. And here's the sales. And this is the reason why. Inventory is very crucial to coming up with a value here, okay? I have revalued all 4,000 properties in this town, looked at every one of them. I have made many changes on the inventory. That has a bearing on value, because what you're looking for is dollars per square foot on an average house, a fair house, a good house. You're looking for different ranges in value on the quality of the property. That's just on residential, but. And on ag sales, you look at the quality of the soil. Poor soil's rated at a certain level, average, and then good. And on commercial, it's based on dollars per square foot and income. So there's different ways to evaluate that. But to answer your question, basically, they like to have revals done, more often. It is very difficult to take it to 100%. When it's been this long, okay? Have other municipalities missed the mark? Yes, they have, okay? That's not my goal. My goal is to reach that. Basically, we had a fairly in-depth discussion about the quality of the construction in this town and where it's gone in the last 10 years in different neighborhoods. And I said, I presented proof of some of the variances, So I don't know if I've answered your question or not.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Don. And, our second presentation will be from the gentleman from Barton and Judas. They're going to give us an overview of the town of Seneca Falls water projects, water and sewer projects that we're working on. I thought this would be a good time with our two board members on to get right into it and update the older board members also. So, John, you want to introduce yourself?
Thank you. John Condino from Barton, Judas, and Peter Baker. And ladies, welcome. Congratulations. We're going to have more fun this afternoon. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in the water sewer infrastructure within the town. We look forward to working with you over the next year, hopefully maybe for another 3 years after that. Again, as Greg said, there's a number of issues and projects that are currently undergoing development and will soon come to fruition this year. So there's a lot going on in the water sewer area. Peter is going to give a bit of an overview on the sewer portion, which is a little more complex than the water side. Currently, for those who were at the board meetings and aware last year, the board at the beginning of this year, the new board agreed to go ahead with the two water tower projects. The Van Rensselaer water tower will be completely rehabbed inside and out from a coating standpoint, and the Auburn Road tank will be painted on the outside and completely rehabbed on the inside. These are projects that are at least, I think, 20 years plus in the making. Those two projects, actually the Auburn Road Tower project, there'll be more information put forth shortly on this, but the Auburn Road tank will be, that project hopefully will start about May 1st. We're going to drain the tank and do the repaint on that. And following on that project, about the 1st of July or so, will be the Van Rensselaer tank. Throughout that period, one or the other tank will be out of service. The town is working cooperatively with the Village of Waterloo. There is currently an existing emergency connection between the two water lines, or water systems. By hopefully the 1st of May, there'll actually be another connection, and we'll be working cooperatively with the village so that they can help supply water to the town. Again, we're going to have some information coming out on those projects very soon to give the residents an idea of exactly what's going to be going on. But there'll be quite a bit of activity. On the sewer side, there are 3 good-sized projects within the town that affect the sewer system. And there is a project actually that the county's undertaking up on 318 that Peter's going to give an overview on that will ultimately end up benefiting the town also. So with that, Peter, I'm going to turn it over to you for the fun.
So we are asked by the board just to present can you hear me? Hello? We were asked by the board to present an overview of the various projects we're working on. As John indicated, he gave a quick overview of those. Just want to make sure this is working.
No, it's not.
Here we go. So just to...
Sir, sorry.
This is-
Speak into the mic.
Okay, there we go. I'm not a public speaker. So real quick, just an overview of Seneca Falls. When we talk about wastewater, there's really 2 key pieces of infrastructure. The wastewater treatment plant is down on the canal, and there's also the sanitary sewer collection system.
The board members have the handouts that you,
They do not.
okay, do you have those?